Hey y'all, I was like, I need to get this video out, right? I'm on my way to school and I was like, I need to get this video out, okay? I need to, okay? Because this right here is such a blessing. Like I said, I'm on my way to school, but God said that delay does not equate to denial. The promise is still yours. The promise that God gave you is still yours. And I just wanted to share a quick testimony. It's really not quick, but I'm gonna make it quick because I have to go to school soon. And I just wanted you to know that when God gives you a promise, you need to be obedient and you need to believe in yourself and also believe that, hey, girl, when I don't know if you're a girl who are watching this, but that's just how I talk. I'm sorry. But when God gives you a promise, you must be obedient to it. And there's going to be days, especially if you're like me, I grew up getting bullied in school from second grade to high school. So my self-worth wasn't the best. Not only that, but because I did get bullied, I put myself in predicaments where my self-worth was tested, and I always did not choose me. I didn't know my worth. I really hated myself, and I always questioned God. Although I wasn't really a firm believer in God, but I always questioned him, why would you have these people talking about me? I'm just a kid. I had thoughts of I'm not gonna say the word, but it's the S word. Okay, I had thoughts of that ever since third grade. Okay, so I never really loved myself. I didn't love myself. And God had gave me a vision when I was, my son was turning 1. So that's in 22. So in 22, I was 21. So my son was turning 1. And on his first birthday, I'm a single parent. For the longest time, my baby, he's a love child. Story for another day. Because I didn't love myself, I put myself in that predicament. But anyways, on his first birthday, I was just crying. I was so upset because I felt not only myself, but I felt my son, and I also felt God. Although my relationship with God was still not perfect, still not today, but I was starting to get convicted because I was like, you know what, this is not a good choice that I made. This choice came from me not loving myself, having low self-esteem. And anyways, I really hated myself because I didn't have the best of both worlds. I didn't have the money, although he had a nice birthday party, but I wanted to be able to provide for my son. I wanted my son to have that 2-parent household, and I was just so upset that I couldn't give him that. Later on that day, after I cleaned up the party, I drove myself and my son to the park, and I sat in my car crying, and I told God to just take me. I told him, just take me. I can't do it anymore. I told him I don't want to do it anymore. I told him I feel like I don't have a purpose. I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. Like, why am I here? Am I here to just take care of my mom because my mom is disabled? Am I here just to be a single parent? Am I here to go through all the hate that I went through? I was like, is that really why you have me here? I'm like, just take me. I'm tired. I can't do it anymore. And I'm like, that sounds very selfish of me, yes. But that's what I said. And I was like, God, if you have a purpose for me, if you have me to, if you have something that you want me to do, can you give me a sign, tell me, because I'm at my breaking point. I was at my breaking point because when I was pregnant with my son, I was battling with the depression. And then after my son, the postpartum depression hit me so hard. It hit me so hard because, like, I was by myself. Although I had my mom help, but she's disabled, right? So I believe like that next night or that following, that next day, I'll probably say maybe morning time, evening, I'm not really sure. I was scrolling on TikTok, and God was just saying, go back to school, and also start CNA classes. I was just like, mind you, I was already a PCA, a personal care assistant, but initially I wanted to go to school for journalism. So being a nurse it just wasn't on my timeline. It wasn't in my head. I wasn't doing it. I never liked the video, anything about nursing, never liked the video a day of my life. But I just saw all these videos start popping up about nursing, which was weird because I said I never talked about it. I never liked it. It was out of the equation, right? People will always ask me, go be a nurse. And I'm like, no, I'm good. You know, I'm good. So I decided to, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. So I decided to join a CNA class. By the grace of God, my class was $600. I'm not gonna say only, because baby, only, that's money I'd never had. Okay. I got my CNA classes paid for, and I did enroll back into college. That long story, a very long story. I'm not gonna get too much into that. My GPA did drop because I did drop out of school, because once I was pregnant with my son, the morning sickness kicked in. I was like, I just can't do it. I'd rather just work. Okay. Anyways, long story short, I did not have money for school. The first year they did pay for it. My first semester back, they did pay for it, but I ended up flunking classes. So after that, they was like, we can't pay. You have to pay. So I had to pay out of pocket. Didn't have the money. So I sat out 2 good semesters because I didn't have the money. It was a $2,000 hold on my account. I didn't have the money for school. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, God, you told me to go to school, and now I got a $2,000 hold on my account. Like, God, what are we doing here? I feel like you're playing me. Obviously, I was like, at that point, I was like, you know, that was not God. That was in my head. That was definitely me. That was definitely me. Anyways, y'all, God gave me this thought. He was like, go to the Win Job Center. They pay for your CNA class. They're going to pay for your school. So I get there, and next thing I know, the lady's like, I wish you would have said this earlier. Why you didn't say anything? So they paid $2,000, and all I had to come out was $400 by the grace of God. I'm telling you. So when God gives you a vision, child, you best believe it. You best believe it. So I'm back in school. This time around, I ended up getting caught cheating, right? And I already have a video, a testimony on that. I get caught cheating, and I tell the lady, please, I need this degree. And she was like, just promise me you will not cheat again. Because she asked me, she's like, are you cheating? I said, yes. I gave her you have to be honest, right? And I cheated because I didn't think I was good enough for that class. I just didn't. I said, I can't do it. And that's self-sabotage. So when God gives you a vision, you need to believe in yourself. I didn't believe in myself. So when you don't believe in yourself, the only thing you're doing is creating a bigger hole, and you're adding time to what God wanted you to do. So you're adding more delay in what God visioned for you to do. So sometimes God is not really delaying us. It really be our own self delaying us. But because of that, I had to retake the class. Because I wasn't studying. Because I was like, I already had in my head, like, I'm not going to pass the class. I'm just going to cheat. And that didn't get me anywhere. So I ended up passing it the next semester because I started to believe in myself some more. Because I was like, you know what? Maybe this is God, because he's been making a way. He's been constantly making a way. Never had the money for school, but somehow God has got me through it. I ended up cheating. I could have got kicked out, but somehow he's gotten me through it. And this semester, I was meeting with the advisor. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this long, y'all. But this semester, I was meeting with the advisor. And, you know, I've been emailing them since the beginning of the school year, like since January, to make sure everything's good, right? And or over the summertime. And over the summertime, I was told that I was going to be able to graduate in December, right? They was like, you just got to take these classes and you should be able to graduate in December. So the beginning of this semester, whenever I met with my advisor, she was like, oh yeah, so you just need to take this exam and so and we'll let you graduate in May of next year. I was like, Excuse me? Y'all, I was so hyped on graduating in December. I was like, I didn't like, she probably could see it in my face how I went from like happy and jolly to in disbelief. Like, I was like, wow, so y'all been telling me for months and months and months and months, because I wanted to make sure that this was my year to graduate. She was like, yeah, you just gotta, you won't be able to graduate in December, but you can graduate next year. I'm just like, wow. I was like, y'all didn't tell me that. Y'all told me this year. So she was like, you know what? Because the class I needed was full, but she ended up checking, and she was like, it's one seat available. I'm just going to go ahead and give it to you. She said, what the heck? What the heck? You might as well graduate this year. You might as well graduate this year. What the heck? One seat left. It was one seat left, y'all. One seat left, okay? I felt like I was on, what is that Christmas movie? The North Pole, the Polar Express. You have your little golden ticket. She said it was one seat left in the class that I really, really needed, right? So, by the grace of God, I got the seat. I got the seat. By the grace of God, if I do right, which yeah. I graduate in December. So December is literally right around the corner. And that right there, it just told me like, God is so good. God is so good, and nothing is ever denial. Nothing is ever delayed. God, nothing is ever, never, ever delayed. When God says it is for you, you need to believe it in your heart that this is what God said. You need to look around you to see, has God really been blessing me? Has God been keeping me aligned with my purpose? And like he's been doing his thing. He's been doing his big one. Like, I graduate in December. He saved the last seat for me. For me. God is so good. He's so amazing. He's so great. And on that journey, I was able to, I patched it up with the lady who caught me cheating. She's such a sweet lady. She was such a sweet lady. And she told me her story and everything that she was going through. It's a thing that we're all going through something, but we still need to believe. We still need to have faith. And as believers of Christ, we just got to keep pressing forward. We have to keep pressing forward. Nobody's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. Like I said, I grew up with low self-esteem. I didn't know my self-worth. So, of course, if someone tells me, I want you to go be a nurse, or I want you to own this shop, I may still even look at them funny, because I'm still going through that. I'm still patching up the pieces of what years of trauma did to me. So I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. But I'm letting you know my story because I don't want y'all to be like me. So when God gives you a vision, don't mess it up. Do not mess it up, because sometimes we can be our own downfall, and we can dig a hole deeper for ourselves, and sometimes we can't get out of it. Sometimes it may take you 10 years to get out of a hole. Just like God had, I'm not a Bible fanatic, but God had sent the people, and it took them 40 years, 42 years to get to where they needed to go, when really it probably could have took them 10 minutes, So that's the story of my life. That's the story of my life. What God said was going to take me 2 years ended up taking 10 years, because I didn't believe in myself, and I didn't really believe in what he told me. So we can't do that. We can't be believers of Christ and we just kind of like rebel on what God wants us to do. We have to follow through. So I want you to know today that delay does not equal denial, and what God has for you is what God has for you, and what God has for me is what God has for me. So we're just gonna end this video with just a praise and a smile, and I'll see y'all in my next video.